And certainly tapping is an energy, and it's a desire, it's a urge, it's something that we all have to deal with, especially as young men. You have to deal with this all the time. In fact, some guys have a daily habit of doing it once, twice, sometimes 10 times a day. Can you imagine? Yes, there are people who do this 10 times a day, and they're proud of it. But is it good for you? That's the questions that we want to answer today. And we want to examine this from a health point of view and from an energetic perspective, so that we can get some clear insights on this practice and give you information that you need to know. Now, before we start, what's unique about what I'm going to tell you is I'm coming from an energetic point of view, from an energetic awareness. Why is that important? It's important because what I teach you is how to spot and recognize hidden energies in the body, and how there are energies that have a power, a purpose, a direction, a frequency, and it gives off information. Now, this is really important to understand as you become energetically aware, because tapping is one of the energies, your sex energy. Sexuality itself is one of the strongest energies inside people. And, as a young man, as a growing man, our bodies are designed to think about sex all the time and to want to express that multiple times a day, because energetically, we are energetic beings in a physical body. So we have our energy side, and then we have the side of us that's inhabiting these bodies. Now, these bodies that we have their own agenda. So when we come into the body, I teach we're energetic beings inhabiting a physical body. Well, these physical bodies have an agenda. Okay, it's called nature. And in our bodies, what they're created to do is they're created to procreate. They're created to continue the species. That's the scientific way of looking at it. And as a result of that, there's a primal consciousness that we all have to deal with in our lives. And a primal consciousness, which I call primal man, is dealing with the desires of the body. Number one, which is have sex, eat, sleep, and protect yourself, war, or build something, or do something constructive. That's basically the desires of the primitive man. Now let's go back to this sex urge. Okay, so that's a normal thing that we're dealing with. Every guy's got to deal with. You go through puberty. You were kids, we don't like girls. Then we go through puberty, and holy smokes, our bodies are changing before our very eyes. Our voice is getting deeper. We're getting stubble. We're developing, hair in our bodies. And more importantly, we experience, desire, and we experience erections, and we experience the need to the sex urge to complete it and to achieve gratification. And so that's a kind of a normal thing, but yet you notice that sometimes when you do that, you don't feel good about it, or it has a power all of its own of you. And this brings a lot of people into what's known as sex addiction. And the way that works is that there's a certain hit that you get. And when you get that hit, it's what the Buddha called desire. And he says, desire is the root of all suffering. Really? How's that work? Hey, I'm horny and I want to get a nut off. Where's that about? Well, what it is about is that in our physical bodies, as I mentioned, these physical bodies have a desire. But we can't let the physical body run the show. We can't let the physical body's urges take over, because if they did, you'd be fapping morning, noon, and night at the office, at the gym, driving down the street. That's if the body had its way, you'd be doing that all the time. Well, you can't, at least in civilized society. But you still have this urge. And the question is it good for you? Okay. valid question. Is it good for you? Well, you have to balance off the urges of gratification versus the awareness that, is this health? Is this good for my energy, or is this not good for me? So we know that when we ejaculate our life force energy. And you notice when you ejaculate, most of the time you get tired afterwards. You know, if you're having sex, you know, after you ejaculate, you usually roll over and go to sleep. Or at least if you're fapping yourself, you know, after you've climaxed, you're kind of like, ugh. You know, there's a downtime, there's a tiredness, there's a depletion of your energy. So you have to know that energy, you know, when you're a young man, the sperm is being created in huge amounts. And then as you get older, it's less and less and less. But, you know, as a young man, you're thinking about sex all the time and trying to be polite and socially acceptable. But hey, it's on the brain. So when we look at it from an energetic point of view, we look at it a couple of different ways. We recognize that, you know, as a young man, that sperm has got to, you know, be processed in one way or the other. And so sometimes when you get a nut off, you know, it's like, oh, you can finally move. Okay, this itch, it was like an itch. It's itching on you, and you scratch it, and it's over with. Okay, but other times it's comes up as a way to medicate ourselves from our problems, and this moves into a subtle form of addiction. Because why people get into addictions is because there's an overwhelming urge to feel good. And that urge to feel good usually is repressing our anxiety, our stress, our problems, whatever it is. So a lot of people go to fapping as a way to get a temporary hit. And you definitely get it. You get an ounce of pleasure, but a lot of times it comes with a pound of pain. Because whenever you have a desire that you fulfill or that you gratify, what happens next? Well, what usually happens next is you want to do it again, and you want to do it again, and you want to do it again. And you know, I've talked to guys who say, I just feel so good, I can't stop. It has a power over me, and I just can't stop. Yeah, they have guys who fap all night long, you know, looking at porn and in the throes. So what happens is that when you gratify that, you move into an energetic state. Have you ever noticed that? You know, when you're really horny, you know, like, oh, you just can't think of anything else, or this thing has a power over you, and you just it's almost an obsessive and compulsive act. So when it gets to that place, now you've got the potential for a problem. You've got the potential for it to get out of hand. And we weren't meant to gratify every desire we ever had. No one ever told us that. You figure, well, if it feels good, do it. Yeah, but you can't do that. And I'm here talking to you energetically. You have to be able to keep the balances of the physical body and the energetic body equal. You can't have too much of the other, or else you're going to get out of alignment. And what does it mean to be energetically out of alignment? It means that there's a part of me that's going one way, and I'm out of control of it. It's got a power or a control over me, and I don't like it, but I do it anyway because I have the urge. So it's important for you, you know, if you get one thing out of this video, is to understand that even though we have thoughts, we are not our thoughts. Even though I have feelings, I'm not my feelings. Even though I have emotions, I'm not my emotions. Even though I do behaviors, I'm not my behaviors. I do them, but it's not who I am. So just because I have a thought that says, oh man, I'm so horny, I'd love to, maybe I should get a nut off right now. Okay, that's a thought. That's a thought that's in your head that you have control over to either go, okay, I like where this thought's going, or I don't like where that thought's going. I don't like the energy that's pulling me into. Remember, everything that we're dealing with in life is an energy, is a frequency. And it's certainly our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our behaviors, all of these things are energies. And when you're energetically aware, you have to come to the understanding that you can't do everything you want to do the minute you want to do it, right? Because if you do, you can be inappropriate. And society doesn't look kindly on people who are inappropriate sexually, no matter from whatever it is. So that means that you have to have some forbearance, that you have to be vigilant on what's happening with you. And no one ever said, don't do it, right? He said, don't do it. I remember, in school, they say, don't be touching yourself. Don't be fapping. Don't be, this. It's like it's some kind of evil thing that we better not tell anybody about, right? We better, shh. It's a secret. And a lot of times there's a lot of shame and there's a lot of guilt around it, especially if you come from a religious household, or, there's somebody's quoting the Bible that says you're going to burn in hell if you fap or something like that. Well, we know that's not the case. But what we do know is that this is a powerful energy, and it's a powerful motivation. It's a powerful urge. And it's not something to be taken lightly. And most men have never gotten any really good counsel from other men who've been down this road before and know how to deal with this. So what I'm mentioning to you is this is an energy. It's an urge. It's a power. And how you deal with this and it is primarily going to help you, going to depend on and create the peace of mind, or the peace of mind that you don't have about it, because there's an energy always tugging you. Come on, maybe we should do this. Some guys have a porn problem. They're looking at porn and they're fapping, and it's something that they know they shouldn't do, or they don't like the way they feel about it, but this urge takes place, right? This urge, and it almost is overpowering. Now, sexuality isn't the only place where this process takes place. This is an energetic system that we're dealing with in energies. We've got one energy that wants us to be happy and long-term fulfilled, and we've got one energy that's looking for a quick hit and doesn't care about the consequences. And when it comes to fapping, you need to be aware of the energies that are going on inside you. And it's okay, it's okay to have an urge and not go through with it. It's okay. It's okay to have a thought, some whacked out thought, and go, that's not my thought. I'm not thinking that. I don't choose to do that. So the message for energy awareness training for people who are dealing with FAP is you have more control than you know. And if you become energetically aware, this is something you can have complete power over and complete control, even though you don't now, but you can learn how to deal with your energies so that you're running your energies, the energies aren't running you. And you've heard me say before, change your energy, clean your energy, change your life, clean up your life. And the whole point is to get you back in control. So I recommend you studying energy awareness training so you understand what's happening with you sexually, energetically, your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and you can have a handle on this. Please feel free to contact me about this. You can look me up, www.energyawareness.secrets.com, Energy Awareness Secrets, for more on this subject and more of the understanding about how your energy works and how you tick inside. This is Glenn Ackerman. We'll talk soon. Thanks for watching.